Welcome to another little chat, I guess. I just thought today I might just talk about a really lovely practice that I feel could be a really lovely one for this time, especially there is so much stuff going on in the world and quite a lot of pain, quite a lot of violence, quite a lot of, excuse me, quite a lot of pain and violence, quite a lot of, confusion and distress. There's a lot of people that are on their own, people that are being isolated, and all of these different things can have a really profound effect on the mind, can have a really profound effect on your spirit. And sometimes we keep searching for things, we're searching for ways to find comfort. And this little practice is a meditation practice that you can do, which even though it's outwardly not about you, it has a huge effect, it can have a huge effect on your own soul. So this practice that I'm just going to explain to you is called Tonglen, and it's a Tibetan meditation practice, and it's been around for a very long time. They say that there's probably the first signs of it kind of in use and recorded was around the 11th century, when there used to be like a really big leprosy problem, and these Tibetan monks, use this practice to send healing to these people that were, suffering quite severely. So the word Tonglen basically means giving and receiving. So Tong is like a combination of two words, Tong and Len, and Tong means to like to accept, or to give, and to let go is probably the more correct translation. And Len means to receive, accept. And so when you do this practice, you are going to be receiving in a type of emotion, and you're going to be giving out a type of emotion. And traditionally, you start by practicing this on someone that you know personally. So you'll think of someone that you know that you think might need some help, someone that's suffering, someone that could do with a bit of love and compassion. And you focus on them, and you do this practice with them in your mind. I think the from memory, the first person they recommend this practice on is your mother. So maybe some of the Freudians out there might explain more about why this is, but I'm sure we've all got some family-induced trauma. So practicing love and forgiveness to your mother is definitely a good starting point. So what you're going to do in this practice, obviously find yourself in a comfortable seat, or depending on how your body is. Some people find it really hard to sit cross-legged. You don't actually have to do that. Just get a chair that's comfortable, put your feet flat on the ground, and if you need to, you can support your back. If you don't need to, then you could sit in an upright position. Ideally, whenever we do any kind of meditation, we're looking to have our spine in a nice straight alignment. And what you're going to do is you're going to close down your senses as much as possible. So try and find a nice peaceful spot. Try not to have your kids screaming in the background. Close down the eyes. Slow the breathing down. Okay, get yourself into a nice comfortable rhythm of breath, and then just not focus on it at all. Just let it go. And then once you've done this and you're in your kind of comfortable zone for starting to meditate, you are going to imagine yourself absorbing in pain, fear, confusion, all of those kind of more negative emotions. You're going to imagine yourself being a vessel that's bringing those in. So if you are familiar with the chakra system, you might imagine almost that you're bringing that in, absorbing that into your heart chakra, and then what you're going to do then is you're going to kind of transmute it, and you're going to imagine that you're now pushing out love, peace, compassion, so that you're bringing in the pain and suffering, and you're receiving that pain and suffering, transmuting it, and then you're pushing out to the world the opposite, positivity. So the idea really is that we're trying to change the vibration that is the dominant for that particular person. Or even if you wanted to, you can do this practice on a bigger scale. You could even imagine yourself doing this, especially nowadays with everything that's going on. You can even imagine doing this for just on a worldwide scale, creating like a blanket of energy around the earth. If you wanted to do a visualization, some people like to do that. And so we're just basically taking in all this anger and frustration and pain, or whatever it is that the person is suffering. So taking in suffering, and then breathing out and sending out a vibration of love, compassion, healing. So depending on how you meditate, some people do it almost by feeling the way the emotion feels, and then they push out an emotion. Other people might even visualize this, sort of imagining that you're bringing in like a cloud, it's some sort of a cloud of fog that you're drawing in, bringing it into your heart, transmuting it, changing the colour if that helps you to do this, and then sending it out as like a pure white or something sparkly or whatever kind of works for you. So this obviously has to be done in a way that you're able to maintain, and you do this for quite a few minutes, however long you can sort of sit there kind of comfortably. Sorry, you can hear my son in the background. He wants to be in here. And so you do this using the breath. Obviously, we always focus with the breath with yoga especially, but in this practice, normally meditation you don't worry about the breath, but in this practice you use the in-breath to bring in that energy that you are going to transmute, and then use the exhale to push that and set it out. So hopefully, if you give this a practice a go, hopefully you'll feel the difference it makes to you. It can actually have quite a big effect on just your own psyche. It can be really beneficial, and it's a bit similar to like when you practice gratitude. If you focus constantly on positive stuff, it has an effect on the brain chemistry, has an effect on the synapses in the brain, and you have flow-on effects obviously in your own life. There's lots of studies nowadays happening on meditation, so things like blood pressure, things like your ability to heal from illnesses, all those types of things nowadays are actually being backed up with science. So that's the practice of Tonglen. Give it a go. Let me know how you go with it, and I hope you find some benefit from it.